it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you my friend, the world-renowned Dr. Joseph Bryant, Jr. Thank you, Joseph.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is great to see you all here this wonderful, beautiful Saturday morning. Let's give a hand to Reginald Grant. Isn't he phenomenal? Just great to be here. I'm always excited to come back and be a part of the NFL Congress and the wonderful events that they do here. I want to give a huge shout out to Bob Grant, who's not with us. Uncle Bob is always just so much of a wealth of knowledge and insight, and his vision for what can happen with pro athletes and their platform is phenomenal. I know he's handling business today, but can we just give him a hand of love and appreciation for just being a visionary of what the NFL Congress is all about. As Reginald said, we've known each other for several years, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the National Sports Director for Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition. Many people don't know that Reverend Jackson has a huge background in the sports world, beginning actually as a student athlete himself. He went to college on a football scholarship, and one of his classmates, Al Addles, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, tells a funny story. He said, yeah, Reverend Jackson was real good playing basketball and football and running track, but after a while he was doing more preaching than playing. And so I think the path that Reverend Jackson took is the right path for him, but because of his passion for sports over the years, he's always engaged the sports community as a place of change. He was very close to Jesse Owens at the end of his life. He was advisor to Jackie Robinson. As a matter of fact, so close to the family, he did the eulogy for Jackie's funeral. He was a part of the Rooney family and their conversations with the NFL about what has become known as the Rooney Rule. That was part of Reverend Jackson's vision, that there would be more inclusion, more opportunities, that the NFL and other sports entities would not always look the same. It wouldn't always be the good old boys club, that there would be opportunities for a seat at the table for those that were interested in being managers and coaches and minority owners. And so he worked with Bob Johnson, who ended up owning the Charlotte Bobcats at the time, which become the Hornets. And so Reverend Jackson has always had this passion for sports, and in the past 20 years, as his life has taken a huge, directional shift into many of the things that he's done, he asked myself and the original Isaiah Thomas to come on board to build out a platform. The original Isaiah Thomas, I got to quantify that, right? Because there's another Isaiah Thomas playing now. I'm talking about the bad boy Isaiah. He asked Isaiah and myself and a couple of attorneys to set up a platform called Life Beyond the Playing Field that would be a part of the engagement of Rainbow Push, that we would help athletes in their transition into their second careers, whatever that career will look like, to advise them about how to engage their community, how to get into business, how to develop entrepreneurships, whatever they wanted to do, and to continue to open the doors of opportunity for there to be more chances for people of color and women to advance in the sports world. We wanted to make sure the sports world did not continue to stay the way it was, so our objective as an organization is to continue to open doors. So I'm so grateful to Reginald for what the Congress does, because it's so much a part of what Reverend Jackson believes in, and that is when players are given the opportunity to have a platform and a voice, they can do great things, whether that be for themselves to build their own business or to help their communities. In fact, just this year we've been able to work with several former athletes that have now moved into new positions of authority and leadership. Antonio Davis, former NBA player, 18-year career. He's now the director of a new program with the NBA that is developing NBA players in their community engagement. So they're going back to their communities to do good work. We were able to assist with one of the first of those projects with Jason Kidd, who's now part of the LA Laker family, 22-3 by the way, won again last night in Miami. But earlier this year, I was with Jason, and Jason wanted to come back to Oakland and to do something at the Boys and Girls Club where he grew up. A lot of times athletes who have means don't have the method. They know they want to do something, may have the money to do something, don't know how to do it. That's where we come along to help athletes to connect with things that matter. So we said, okay, Jason, you want to do something, in Oakland, let's do it. He said, but I see so much in technology in the Bay Area. How can I get involved in tech? And so what we did was he renovated the Boys and Girls Club he grew up in, and he put in a new gym and a technology center. And we were able to run a week-long basketball camp and technology camp, and because of my role with Reverend Jackson in working with companies, Intel, Google, Microsoft, we have all these wonderful partnerships with these companies, and we're saying to these companies, look, you all have all this money, and you need to get it to our community. You need to help develop pipelines and opportunities. Who better than an athlete to go in to talk to a group of kids and talk all the messages of stay in school, listen to your mama, do your best, and just in case you don't have a J and you can't shoot like Curry and you can't run touchdowns, you can't be Lamar Jackson, why don't you learn some tech? And so hence what Reginald mentioned earlier about our technology platform, that's what we do. We bring in athletes to talk to kids about doing their best and learning tech, because we're able to tell young people, hey, you can get a six-figure income doing technology, and there are open doors right here just in case you don't make it in sports. And so Jason was so excited we were able to do this tech center and a tech program for a week where the kids came in the morning, did coding, afternoon did basketball. John Matthews, one of the brothers that I met here just earlier this year, came to our event in Chicago where we had former athletes and Hall of Famers and speakers, and we honored Bob Grant there, and we were able to talk about his platform and the technology that he does for kids. And so our objective is to connect the dots and connect the people. We can do that. Connect the dots, connect the people. Can you all say that? I got a little preacher in me. Connect the dots, connect the people. Say it louder. Connect the dots, connect the people. A lot of times I have something over here, I have a value, I have a name, or I have some money, or I have the desire to do something, but I may not have the know-how, may not have the connections in the community or with organizations. Or as I got a message this morning from a guy who runs their Boys and Girls Club in Detroit. And he just moved from Atlanta to Detroit. I helped him with players in Atlanta. Bernard King went and spoke at his Boys and Girls Club in Atlanta. Now he's in Detroit. We have a relationship with Jalen Rose, so we're going to connect him with Jalen in Detroit and do some things there and come out. And again, a lot of times these players want to do good. They just don't know how to do good or where to do good and where to plant their flag, and we help them to do so. One of the reasons we also try to work with the Congress, and I'm going to wrap right here, is because I believe that it's important for us to honor our history, to honor where we come from. These guys today are making millions and 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 millions of dollars. And the reality is they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for the sacrifice of those that went before them.
Amen.
And so many times that is forgotten. And so even myself, I told Reginald, I want to come in representing today. Let me put on my Player Congress shirt. I never played a down in my life, but I believe so much in what the Player Congress does. Let me rep the group. Let me give some love to Bob. Let me show some love to the players who did go before and make this game what it is today. This $12 billion industry that is making all this money and oftentimes has forgotten those that paved the way. And so we want to continue to open doors for players that are from generations previously to still have opportunity, to still have relevance, to still have a chance to speak and to go into communities and be of a help, whatever they can do, because they are a former NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball player. They can go in and people just love to see them. And so one of the things I shared even today is that we want to be able to continue to have athletes use their platform in whatever they want to make a difference, because they can. And so we bring in athletes to do events, whether it be Super Bowl, All-Star Weekend, or just your local community events happening. We do so, and we're very grateful to do so. We have an organization called ProSpeak, and that's what they do. We have a network probably of 50 athletes, and every time there's an event going on in their area, we send them there to speak so they can be paid, so they can be compensated. Because a lot of those guys that are now in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they didn't make the money these young guys are making now. So the least we can do is provide them opportunities to be valuable, to be appreciated, and to be paid. Somebody say, be paid. Be paid. Look at somebody and say, there's nothing wrong with being paid. Tell them, there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with being paid, right? Nothing wrong with being paid. So we offer that opportunity through a group we call ProSpeak, and that's a part of how we make a difference with athletes. And we want to be able to do that more with the men that are part of the Players Congress. We want to be able to do whatever we can to promote their business. A lot of them have dreams of still opening businesses or still doing the different types of projects they want to do. And because of Reverend Jackson's name, because of the network access that we have as an organization, the people that I've sat at the table with, like Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg and Tim Cook, and oftentimes, they're not hard-hearted, they just don't know how to do things. And so when we sat with the people at Google, we said, hey, Google, you all make $600 billion. where's it going? How's it helping our community? And because Reverend is a preacher at heart, he said, why don't we build out a program in churches? So in 7 cities around the country now, Google is paying for programs in those churches to teach young people how to code and seniors how to use their cell phones. And we were able to do that because of the connections of Reverend Jackson, his voice, his values, and his abilities. So being here today matters a lot. We also work, and I'm closing with this, I'm not stripping, I'm just stripping. So I have on my Players Congress shirt, right? But one of the sports personalities that I work with is a brother named Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard, he's also in LA. LA, y'all trying to steal everybody. Chris Broussard is from New Jersey. He worked for ESPN for 15 years. Wrote for the Cleveland Plain Dealer before that. Now he's with Fox Sports, based here in LA. And Chris, he wanted to become a speaker and do more speaking around the country. And he had a nonprofit called King. He wanted me to help him build. I said, okay, let me help you this way. We'll use your name, your platform to connect with the people I already know, like Troy Vincent from the NFL. And so I said, let's do something together with Troy that can make a big difference. And Troy said, I'm all in. Again, he's the executive vice president of the NFL. Gets thrown under the bus every time there's a problem. But he has a heart for the community. And he said, let me work with you to go to, this year, Morehouse College and bring in speakers, Hall of Famers, to talk to student athletes about staying out of trouble. Don't mess up your life. Don't mess up your careers. Do things that make sense. Don't be stupid. And Troy came in, Chris came in, Aeneas Williams came in, Brian Dawkins came in, and they talked about how to be a king. And this is knowledge, inspiration, nurtured through God. And we were able to go in and inspire young people. It's such that we're doing this around the country now at HBCUs because of the connections I have with Reverend Jackson. And Chris said, can you help me build? And we've been able to build. My beautiful assistant, who also has to be my beautiful daughter, has a handout that gives some information. Some of you picked it up on the way in, but others of you can grab it now. It's about Rainbow Push Sports and the work we do with Reverend Jackson. Also about Chris Broussard and the King Movement, because we've been able to develop that platform in such a way that we're going to be doing huge events in Miami this year for the Super Bowl with Florida Memorial University. We're going to do a mentoring program. We're going to be doing a celebrity golf event, celebrity basketball event, and even NFL Films is going to be involved. And so the more we can do good work, people will want to see it, pay attention. And all I do with people like Reggie, who I love and believe in, is bring them in so we all get blessed. Because there's room at the table for everybody. Look at one person and say to them, there is room at the table for everybody. After I finish, I'll be around during the break. You all can read the material, shoot me an email, holler at me today. But I want you to know that I believe in what you all are doing to make differences in your businesses, your communities. And all I'm doing is connecting the dots, connecting the people. Reverend Jackson has entrusted me to do that, representing him. Other athletes and sports personalities have given me the privilege to do that. And I want to do that for you as well. That's why we're here. If you're going to be in Miami, you can come hang out with us. Join us at the Celebrity Golf Tournament. You can get out and swing a little bit. If you still got some game, your knees aren't too bad, you want to join us in the basketball game, that's fine as well. You want to speak to students, we're going to have 500 students from Miami's high schools that we're going to be speaking to during Super Bowl week. And so we just try to do as much good as we can. All-Star Weekend in Chicago, we're going to do an event called Athletes and Activism with Eton Thomas, who is an author, former NBA player, who's writing all these phenomenal books about how sports personalities use their platform to speak truth to power because it makes such a difference. So that's what we're all about. That's why we're here. Thank you all. God bless you.